Hello everyone! This is Jimmy Cultist back again with another Dreams logic tutorial. And as you can see in the background, we're dealing with fire, specifically how to feed a fire and have it be at different levels of brightness and intensity or whatever, based off of how much you've fed it. We're going to go ahead and copy some of these assets I already made because, well, wait a minute, maybe we'll use this as old learning, you know, a learning experience. Press clipped mirroring, grid snap, stamp shape. This is the square that we're going to be using for a lot of our logic as a, you know, as a mount for our logic to go on. Make it non-collidable. Use precise move to move it down just a little bit. And we'll create some logs real quick. We can turn off the mirror and just use kaleidoscope. And stretch them out a bit. That should make a nice campfire. I guess we could add a little paint. It's completely unnecessary, but just make a nice detail. Turn up the soft blends, turn down the opacity just a little bit. There. Now we're going to duplicate this cube. Turn this one invisible, pull it down. Actually, maybe pull it up just a bit. There's a reason why we'll want it up. And we're going to go grab a simple flame made by Billy a long time ago, but held up surprisingly well. Make it big to start with. Well, actually, no, maybe make it small. Put it right down in here to where it's barely visible. Then we'll put a microchip right there. Call this fire. We'll need a timer. Set it to count down. And we'll need a keyframe. And basically all the keyframe is going to do is make this fire big at the maximum height, you know, that it can burn or whatever. If you've ever played Don't Starve, it's kind of a similar mechanic to that. And we're going to hook up timer output. We'll call this burn. It's going to burn very quickly down to nothing, but that's just to demonstrate that it's working properly. We'll put it up to 35. It'll burn much slower then. I think I might make it a little bit bigger. It's decreasing as intended. Alright, next we're gonna take this over here, scope into the puppet with L1 and X. And we'll group it with the puppet. We might as well make it blue so that it blends in a little bit better. And we'll call this point, for lack of a better word. And we'll take this out, it's a tag, we're going to label it item P. P short for place, not Pinocchio. And we'll pull it forward like this. And we'll need some logs to symbolize our fuel. For the flame, that is. I'm not going to use clipped mirror this time, because I feel they should be irregular. So I'm just going to go to stamp shaped. Stamp shape, not shaped. Put one out. Put another one out. That should be a nice bundle of sticks. In the medieval era, they would have a more offensive term for this, but it's a bundle of sticks. I just want to judge the size before making it into an item. And we're going to hide the flame real quick. Duplicate this. Oh, don't forget to make the logs non-collidable. I'm also going to turn down their color amount, but that's mainly a visual thing. Primarily, you just don't want them to be collidable. Otherwise, they'll cause problems with the puppet. And we'll call this logs. Then we'll take a teleporter, set it to match target orientation, and call it item P. I'm also going to take out a keyframe real quick, just to stand in for a puppet. You know, the position in which he's holding it, we would want that to be that looks pretty good. We're also going to want the poses off so it won't interfere. See, when he runs, he'll flap his arms around, and we don't want that because it'll look kind of weird, so we're going to turn down the arm flap. I might just turn down flail in general without the keyframe being active. And we'll call this carrying. And we'll of course need a little logic chip to contain this action of carrying the log. We'll call it pick up. I'm going to go over here and review my logic real quick, just to see what I'm working with. We're going to want something labeled grab and tag. It's a trigger zone, of course. And we want a fairly robust range in which we can grab things, but not too big, otherwise it'll seem like a Jedi. Next, we're going to want a selector, that way we can have selected states active. The state of carrying and not carrying. And we'll call this carrying, similar to the keyframe we made earlier. And we'll just turn the keyframe on and plop it down in the inactive chip. Then we'll take out a switch, connect the switch to the item P. And what next? Oh yes, we'll need a trigger zone, still set to tag. This one's going to be an active zone. I'm just going to call it active. I called the last one feed, but I think I'll call this one active. And this is basically the range within which you can, interact with the fire and feed it wood. Which I'm doing automatically in this case, but you could make it so there's a button you have to press if you really wanted to. Now we're going to go inside our log and see what I did there. We have a tag in here labeled consume, which will be the, the item is now consumed, so. And we'll have a destroyer just to remove our logic from the scene. Now we're going to go inside our microchip and see what we've put in here. Got a small tag. We're going to label it active. And it should be triggered once this zone is over the fire. So I would center it in the middle of the fire, that way the player, can get in a good position. And we're also going to need a zone, which we can just grab from here. And we're going to call this zone consume, of course, which will trigger the tag within the logs. There it is, consume. And since it's going to be needed to eliminate the logs, we're going to make it fairly wide. Just to make sure they get, done in once we fed the fire. And we can unhide the flame now. Oh, and we also might want to put the logs down on the ground like so. Another thing we'll want to do is we'll probably want a button to trigger I think we'll just use a timeline. Just to act as our grabbing you know, situation. I think we'll use triangle. Also, I'm gonna turn off depossession and make him force possession, because I think that would be quicker for the purposes of testing. This will be our switch. We'll make it blue so that we know the difference between it and the thing that prevents timeline playback. Set the timeline to play once, of course. Probably fairly familiar with this logic if you've watched a lot of our videos. We do this a lot. And I'm going to take out our carrying chip. Or keyframe, I should say. Set it to linear blend. This is just a, you know, basic animation. Probably won't look that good because it's not been refined, but we just want something quick. Oops, pull this back. We got our grab. Ought to have a grab tag on there just in case. And we can move consume a little bit more toward the center just to be safe. And we can also hide this, make it invisible. But there we've got the logs. Now let's just take them to the fire. You can see it's burning low. Now it's burning high again. I'm purposely going to set the fire down to 0 just so we can see, you know, how it works. There we go. That's how you fuel a fire. You could even add an animation if you wanted, but the player sets it down. Another thing you're going to want to do is have it so that once an item is grabbed and active, you can't pick up a new one. So I might have something kind of like this, since that's how you ordinarily would grab it. I just have that, and then hook up the switch to the NOT gate, and this will prevent this microchip from being active, meaning you can't grab new things once you've grabbed the old one. So anyway, hopefully you found that helpful. Another thing you would want is when grab is active, you should have it that item P only is active when grab is active. That way, you know, if there's other logs in the scene, you won't be picking those up as well. I'll give you an example. Like, see, this log over here is not suddenly attracting to me, so that's proper. but we can still pick it up. Yeah, just a little simple fix. Keep that in mind. And that's all for now. Here are the names of all of our lovely cult supporters. Many thanks to all of you. If you'd like to get your name in those credits, check the link in the description and head over to our Ko-fi. You can become a cultist neophyte to become credited at the end of our video, or you can become an acolyte to gain early access to videos in addition to credit. Now, if you aren't in the mood for membership, you can always leave a one-time tip. If you enjoyed this video and are not already subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And maybe give us a quick like, both options are free. Also, don't forget to ring the notification bell so you will always be notified when new videos come out. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions, leave them in the comment section. Or if you just want to let out your pent-up rage, give us some smack talk. Until next time, goodbye.